Hey guys, so I made it back from Raleigh, North Carolina. So I recently attended a wild horse and burro adoption event. Let me tell you, that was a crazy day. I have a vlog coming out. We get to see or watch the full story and also some other videos from that event. So stay tuned for that. But what I wanted to talk about today was, well, I looked at the calendar and it is August 21st, which is a very big day for me. This marks my 2-year anniversary with Mustangs. So at this time last year, I was driving home from Annville, Pennsylvania. I had just picked up my very first Mustangs. I attended Annville to pick up my internet adoption Mustang, which was Libby. While I was there, I also picked up Frida, and that was my entry into Mustangs. And it's crazy because I remember it all like it was yesterday. I remember sitting in my car, arriving early for the event and trying to eat breakfast, but my stomach was just in knots, just with that anticipation of seeing my first Mustang. And it was crazy. And I remember just that feeling walking through the pens, trying to find her, and just the relief I felt when I saw her for the first time. And I remember Frida popping out kind of from the herd, literally, like she was captured my attention pretty early on, but she really kind of did pop out. And I remember being like, oh, "You're just a baby." I forget what I said, but it was something along those lines. And it was crazy. I'm probably gonna rewatch that video later today because special memories. And I remember also the feelings of arriving. I had paid for a shipper, so I arrived at my house before they arrived, and just that anticipation of them about to enter into this pen that I had worked to set up and get ready for Mustangs. And those feelings, like, I actually had a part where I was talking at the camera. To be honest, I really felt that imposter syndrome, can I actually do this? Is this something that I can do? And leading up to that, I had done a lot of groundwork. So I had done a lot of working on understanding horse behavior, body language. However, I will say that going into Mustangs was completely different. I think my expectations were completely shattered. And a big takeaway, one thing that I've really learned is to really just bring my energy down. I identified this really early on in my training that my energy was way too high and I needed to bring it down. And just because you can identify it doesn't necessarily mean you can adopt those changes. Like, you can't just fix it like that. It takes time, it takes work, and it takes more and more understanding. So over the last 2 years, I've really been working on bringing my energy down when working with horses. And they're very sensitive animals. They really are. So they don't need a whole lot. Anyway, I remember just those moments before they arrived. And if you watch that video, you'll kind of hear what I was feeling and going through. But I still, I'm there. I see that. And, I still struggle a lot with imposter syndrome. And it's something that I've definitely grown in confidence. Self-confidence was never something I really, had a lot of naturally, and it's been something that I've just been working on in myself over the years. Yeah, anyway, this is a really special day and very life-changing. And I'll say this also, leading up to getting Mustangs, I've always wanted to work with wild Mustangs. They've always been a passion of mine, and I always told myself someday I would get a wild Mustang. And as the years went on, that someday, I would tell myself oh, maybe in 5 years I'll have a Mustang. But that 5 year, as time went on, that 5-year time just kind of kept creeping ahead of me. A year goes by and it's still 5 years. And I realized that I didn't have a plan for this to happen, and it wasn't going to happen naturally. It wasn't just going to fall into my lap. I had to actually work for it. I had to, and that sounds so basic, but it was true. I had to, if I wanted this to happen, I had to actually do it. But that realizing that someday doesn't just happen, I had to just take a step and do it. It changed everything, and it changed my mindset. Okay, well, I'll make my someday a 2-day, and we'll just do this. And yeah, that's where I started. I was happy though. I started with a yearling and a 2-year-old, and I was really happy with that decision. I think that was a great entry point into Mustangs, for sure. Yeah, it's just really fun to reflect back on that time and just to see what's happened since then. And it's a life-changing experience. It really is. Anyway, if you guys want to see that video, I'll link it over here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be putting out those Raleigh videos soon, so stay tuned for those. Bye guys.